In this session, let us learn about HTML form attributes. HTML form attributes. This chapter describes the different attributes for the HTML form element. The action attribute. The action attribute defines the action to be performed when the form is submitted. Usually, the form data is sent to a file on the server when the user clicks on the submit button. In the example below, the form data is sent to a file called action page HTML. This file contains a server-side script that handles the form data. On submit, send from data to action page HTML. See the code and the result. By writing and executing this code, if the action attribute is omitted, the action is set to the current page. The result returns this HTML forms. If you click the submit button, the form data will be sent to page called action page PHP. The target attribute. The target attribute specifies where to display the response that is received after submitting the form. The target attributes can have one of the following values. Blank. The response is displayed in a new window or tab. Self. The response is displayed in the current value. Parent. The response is displayed in the parent frame. Top. The response is displayed in the full body of the window. Frame name. The response is displayed in a named iframe. The default value is self, which means that the response will open in the current window. Here the submitted result will open in a new browser tab. See here, by writing and executing this code, here we are using the blank. So if we click this submit button, when submit this form, the result will open in a new browser tab. The method attribute. The method attribute specifies the HTTP methods to be used when submitting the form data. The form data can be sent as URL variables with method is equal get, or as HTTP post transaction with method post. The default HTTP method when submitting form data is get. See the example. The example uses the get method when submitting the form data. See, now we are using the blank method get. See, by writing and executing this code, the result returns this. The method attribute. This is the code and this was the result. Post method. This example uses the post method when submitting the form data. See, by writing and executing this code using post method, see, after you submit, notice that unlike the get method, the form values is not visible in the address bar of the new browser tab. See, by writing and executing this code, the result returns this. Notes on get. Appends the form data to the URL in name or value pairs. Never use get to send sensitive data. The submitted form data is visible in the URL. The length of the URL is limited to 2048 characters. Useful for form submissions where a user wants to bookmark the result. Get is good for non-secure data like query strings in Google. Notes on post. Appends the form data inside the body of the HTTP request. The submitted form data is not shown in the URL. Post has no size limitations and can be used to send large amounts of data. Form submissions with post cannot be bookmarked. Tip: always use post if the form data contains sensitive or personal information. The autocomplete attribute. The autocomplete attribute specifies whether a form should have autocomplete on or off. When autocomplete is on, the browser automatically completes values based on values that the user has entered before. A form with autocomplete on. See, by writing and executing this code, the result returns this. Fill and submit the form, then reload the page, start to fill the form again and see how autocomplete works. Then try to set autocomplete to off. See here, autocomplete on, you can also put autocomplete off. By writing and executing this code, The result returns this. The no validate attribute. The no validate attribute is a Boolean attribute. When present, it specifies that the form data input should not be valid when submitted. See the example, a form with no validate attributes. See here, no validate, action no validate. The no validate attribute indicates that the form input is not to be validated on submit. See, the no validate attribute of the form tag is not supported in Safari 10 or earlier. See, by writing and executing this code, the result returns this, the form no validate attribute. List of all form attributes. See here, except charset. Specifies the character encoding used for form submission. Action. Specifies way to send the form data when a form is submitted. Autocomplete. Specifies whether a form should have autocomplete on or off. Ends C-type. Specifies how the form data should be encoded when submitting it to the server only for method post. Method. Specifies the HTTP method to use when sending form data. Name. Specifies the name of the form. No validate. Specifies that the form should not be validated when submitted. Rel. Specifies the relationship between a linked resource and the current document. Target. Specifies where to display the response that is received after submitting the form. Okay friends, this is the end of HTML part 55 form attributes. In next video let us learn about another topic, form elements. If you like our program, please like, subscribe and press bell icon for our next part video updates. Thank you friends. Meet you in next video. All the best.